What's going on, car guys and car gals? It is time to brew some more solutions over here at PureCars, and we're doing it with this dapper dude right here, making things look good over here at NADA 2026. The one, the only, José Gomez.
Yes,
Welcome back on the
guys.
show, brother.
Man, it's always good to have you on, brother.
Likewise. Thank you guys
Your
so much.
energy's always high. You're always positive, and you bring so much knowledge to what's happening inside
So
PureCars
much.
and automotive, man. You've had your thumb in this industry for a little while now.
Yeah, I was actually just having a conversation with the dealer group today. I was like, it's my 16th. I kept going on. I'm like, man, it's my 17th year.
I kept moving
Time
it up.
flies when you're having fun and you
Whoa.
lose it, So it's a blessing, man. Automotive is great. People are great. You guys are great. So we're happy to be here.
Man,
that's
and
awesome.
we're blessed to work with you guys a lot. I mean, it's been a few years that we've been able to come to your booth and really sit down and do some of these interviews. But between the big shows, we always run into each other, right? And it's always been a good time. We broke bread together.
Absolutely.
We've had a drink together. We've had great conversations. We've laughed.
Yeah.
Haven't cried, thank God, right?
Yeah,
We've had a lot of good
exactly,
times. But man, there's a lot of great things happening in the industry right now. So it's always good that we get to mingle and really hear things from other people. Because the more that you can really learn about different products and different ideas, the better you're going to be. And here at PureCars, you guys are always mingling and mixing, and that's what I love about you all. You all don't just learn what you guys do, you're learning what everyone else is doing so that you guys can perform better.
Yeah.
What's really exciting right now at PureCars for you?
I think the integration of all of our products, right? Like, so you think about what we call it a three-legged bar stool, right?
Yeah.
We think about, digital advertising, our CDP and our AI, being able to making sure that we let the market know that we have an intelligence platform and we are evolving the way we are reaching every consumer is probably the most exciting piece about what we are coming to market with. Is the world today, right? And I've said this before in many conversations, I said it probably all week. The consumers only want to be talked to when it's relevant information that's being shared to them. So if you're sending information about sales and you just bought a car last week, if you're not a service client and you've been doing that for 10 years at that store, the right message and being able to integrate those platforms to make sure that that dealer is increasing their overall loyalty and transaction because they're sending the right information is probably the most important thing that for us, we're excited to tell that story. But then the other layer of that is our service side, right? Making sure that you're loving on your clients, making sure how we're doing that, how we are all intentional and making sure that we're selling the right product to you. We'd love to sell you everything, but if it's not convenient for you today, let's talk about it in 6 months, 9 months. Let's figure out, how your market responds to it, and then we're able to do that and flip a switch and do that real fast. So we're excited about that.
Love that. That's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot that's going on. We're in an interesting era of automotive right now.
Are. Yeah.
And there is this acceleration and advancement of how it is that we actually have a relationship with our data that's helping us have a better relationship with our customers.
Absolutely.
Which you guys do a seamless job of synchronizing all of that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of changes that are happening, a lot of changes that are occurring right now.
Yeah.
What are the changes that you're seeing inside of the dealership landscape that's making you pretty proud to say, hey, we're PureCars and we're like well positioned for this?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. Actually, I think when the education aspect, like if what you've seen over the course of the last, I'd say 18, 24 months in the auto industry is that dealers are becoming educated in ways that we have never seen before.
That's
like
great.
they're very much excited and eager to learn rather than just buy, right? If you think about, back then it was like, especially at NADA, you were just selling, but we weren't really taking the time to educate and actually help them understand the things that they were buying. So now, when you look at these transactions, you're looking at these conversations, these guys they're ready. They've done their homework, they've talked about it. And the biggest piece I think that they're really the most interested in is how they treat their consumers and how they speak to them. So insert our CDP, right? Like they want to make sure it's clean. They know that they have dirty data. They know that they're struggling with maybe overspending in their marketing because they're just marketing to people that quite frankly just don't have the vehicle anymore. They don't want to transact, or there's a lot of different elements. But I think the informed dealers, you're starting to see a plethora of them, and they're excited to be educated. And the fact that we have so many different ways that we can do that makes the conversation and the transaction a lot easier.
I love
it.
I love that you're talking about that because that is the truth. And being able to do that and be able to layer it up like that is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
You said something during the first question, when you answered it and you talked about the customer, right? and really where they're at and being able to speak to them. Because it's like if they bought a car a week ago and we're trying to sell them a car today, they're looking at you like, how do you not know?
Yeah.
Because data is so fast now, because it is out there, because they know that most places, based off of all the technology out there, you should know where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And if you don't know where I'm at, I don't want to do business with
Exactly.
you, right? So being able to take your dealer to the next level and show them, hey, it's all possible for you right now.
Right.
That's phenomenal. And being able to get them where the customer's at and being able to speak to them when it's that time. That is the difference between having good data or having clean data, right?
Yeah.
So it's huge to have hygiene data.
I
love
about
that.
Sorry, I get
You're
excited
good.
when you say that. You know, like the best example that I can give, like in terms of that, is taking the dealership through a car wash, right?
Yeah.
All the elements that happen. Like if you ever been in a car wash, I'm sure you guys have, right? It's one my kids, they love it. They think it's the greatest show on earth, and it's cheap. It's the
It's
cheapest,
easy.
greatest show on earth.
Let's
and
go.
so when you go through it, right, there's different elements. You got your spray, you got your wash, you got your towels, all those things. The dealership, the data has to go through that same car wash,
Yeah,
right? It
man.
has to go through identifying who you want to talk to, figuring out your strategies based on your insights, and then you're ready to, when you come out of the car wash, you're ready to engage, you're ready to talk. But if you don't clean your dealership often, then you're just not going to be doing that effectively. And a lot of people, to your point, you're exactly right. They're going to be like, unsubscribe. And that's the most lethal thing that can happen to a dealership. When the customer says, don't talk to me anymore,
It's over.
it becomes 10 times harder.
Unless
to
they
try to get
put
that
themselves in as a lead again, and that's the only time. And we
That's
don't.
it.
Why would we do that when we have somebody who's captive right then?
Yep.
If we just speak to them at their place,
That's right.
With great knowledge and information,
Yep.
and that's something I love that PureCars is doing. You guys are always evolving. That's something I love. You guys are always looking for ways to make what you have even better for your products. You know, yesterday we had some great interviews with some of your people, and they talked about how like being able to change things has been really good because you know when you first started it was a very modest company is what they called it, right? And it's grown into what it is today to include AI and a lot of awesome tools, and we love that.
Yeah.
But you know, let's go back to what hasn't changed. What's something that you know at PureCars will never change?
I think our intention to want to serve the client the right way, right? We had a sales kickoff before the event started to bring the team in and be able to just give them our vision, give them what 2026 is all about, give them the overall understanding of where the market's at today, what's important to dealerships. We actually spent the last 60 days talking and interviewing clients about, hey, what's working? What's not working? What can we do better, right? And so you take all that data and now you go to your people and say, hey, this is not coming from me.
Right.
I can tell you all the things and what you want to say, but this is coming from our clients. This is coming from the people that are our customers, right? And these are the things that they want, that they don't like, and this is the things that they're looking forward to. So the fact that we are continuing to be intentional with everything that we do, whether it's us selling the product, managing the product, creating the product, building the product, our entire product team is structured to focus on the things that are going to be more impactful for dealerships, not things that we think are impactful for dealerships.
Right.
But we're gathering all that
I love
data
that.
from the client, which is the most important piece. So intentional, I would say, is the word and the thing that at PureCars, it's never going to change. We've been in business now 18 years, and that's what we want to do.
I love that, man.
Great answer.
on that. I got to give you some pound for that. That was a
Lots of
very
love.
strong
That
answer,
was
and I know
good.
that's not something that you're just fluffing up. That's something
No.
that you know is true, and that's why you're here, you know?
For sure.
You definitely speak well on your product, man, and I love it. I could tell you sell this a lot. I guarantee
Try
dealers.
to a little bit.
I'm sure you do a pretty good job at it, man. You obviously it's not just because that you're selling it; it's because you believe in it.
Yeah,
and I
gotta
could
be
hear that
passionate.
I could hear it in your words. I can hear it in the way that you even guide somebody through what the process looks like, brother. You do a really clean job with that.
Yeah, we try to,
your analogies are phenomenal, man. I love that. Thank you for sharing it that way.
100%. Yeah, no, I think for us is, our message this week for us was clarity, confidence, execution. If you have the clarity to be able to tell the really good story and understand how to say it, you're going to organically be confident in the things that you're trying to say and the product you're trying to sell. And then the rest of it, you have both of those, you have execution, which is one of the pieces that was our focus point for this week. It's just making sure that we bring those three things to the table every single time we're speaking to the client. And here, right, you guys know it because you probably are doing the same. We talk to hundreds of people,
So many people
daily. So you just got to always remind yourself, stick to those three core values and the rest will take care of
that's
itself.
So, I mean, that's why core values are there. Is to stick to those, and if you stay on those, you're always doing the right thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So being here for this event, of course, there's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. But next week's gonna happen.
Yeah.
the rest of the year has to unfold and has to come through. So talking about the vision for PureCars over the next horizon, put it in simple terms. What should we be expecting or getting excited about?
You know, that's a great question. There's a lot if I had to focus in on, but I think for us, the more important piece is just making sure that we continue to tell the evolution of our story in terms of who we are, right? The transforming from an actual just digital advertiser to an overall market strategy and a market intelligence platform is going to be the key. And continuing to tell the dealers that, hey, we have a house of data that is the most powerful one in the space. That's going to be the story that we tell in 2026, and there's going to be a lot of different ways that we do it. So we're excited about that. Obviously, like you said, we're all here. We're going to be at events together probably for the rest of the year. We're probably going to see each other once a month.
Yeah,
we look forward to it.
Something like that. I always do. I always look forward to it.
So those are the conversations that we'll probably come to market with, and excited to tell that story.
And that's a great story to tell. You know, there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of great products out there. There's a lot of great new technologies. There's a lot of great ideas out there. At PureCars, I know you guys probably shift through a lot of those, like looking through like, hey, what's really worth doing, what's not? How do you guys make a decision on something that you want to take a project or maybe take on and bring into your company?
Yeah, so going back to like Q4, right? It takes me, our product team, so we're all here today. We have our core foundation in terms of how we take a product from, or take a thought to a strategy to a production. And that's going to be, we call it the Fab Five, right? Oh, not the Michigan Fab Five, but the Fab Five. But there's five elements. There you go. 5 core elements that we focus on, and that's going to be just one, listening to the client, making sure that the client wants it. We have an actual dealer council that we take everything in. But then we actually bucket, and we want to put every single thought in terms of a big, white board, so that way we can brainstorm, figure out what's important. And if the dealership endorses it, then we actually get with our product teams, we take it to market, and we start creating concepts, and then we pilot, and then we go live. But we're very careful, and we're very strategic with the way that we roll things out, because sometimes you can have the greatest idea and you think it's the best, and sometimes it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit into our core elements, and that's okay. We've actually, again, in Q4, we grounded 2 things that we thought were going to be fantastic for us in 2026, but it just didn't match what we were trying to do overall for the dealership. So
and you got to make those decisions. You got to make those kind of decisions, but because at the end of the day, you want to make sure what you're doing is most effective, right? And then we add on other things. It's like if my foundation isn't good, then I don't need to add on to my house, right? I need to fix this foundation first. And you guys are always doing that, but you're looking for things to make your foundation better, and then also how to build this house even prettier, and I love that. You guys are always putting those little extra details on there.
All the time.
Absolutely.
Speaking of details, when you think about the biggest impact that PureCars is having right now on the industry, describe what you really feel like if you had to zoom out and see what you guys are shaking up and baking up and serving and getting done, how would you say that you're most impacting the auto industry?
I think the biggest piece is bringing our data, the power of our data to consumers, not only consumers, but more importantly, the dealerships. Right. So that way the overall experience, consumer experience, is the number one thing to help you sell 100 cars or 5,000 cars, right? So if you are creating and leveraging data to be able to do exactly that, you're going to be able to do it in the right ways. Because again, a happy client is a repetitive client, then it's going to transact again. I was just having conversations with a big dealer group, and I told him, Mr. Dealer, I asked him a question. It's like, how often do you check how often you sell one customer a car? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, do you sell a customer, would you be excited to sell is it easy to sell a customer a car one time or 2 times, right? And he's like, oh, we sell it to them 1 time. He's like, but think about being able to keep that customer in your life cycle forever, and being able to do it again a second time, right? You're going to be more profitable. We all know that those customers that you sold once are going to be the most profitable customers you sell again. So leveraging that data and making sure that they understand the importance of that, and us being able to be the house to be able to be that, the heartbeat for the dealership, is going to be something that I think the industry's understanding it. People were coming in excited to hear about it, and we're excited to tell them.
And there's a lot of excitement because there's not just you all involved, right? There's partnerships, other platforms and all. So as far as helping to make sure that we're setting everybody up for success, how is everybody getting synchronized inside of the big PureCars house to make sure that everybody is doing what they're here to do.
Yeah. So I think in that side is making sure that we understand where our customers are in their life cycle, right? So like we have partners that help us with our service side of the house, right? Where we have partners that helps us with the actual transactional aspect of the house and making sure that the information that we're using, so phone numbers, email addresses, cars are there. We have certain data partners that we do that. So making sure that they kind of know the lanes and us being able to create those lanes allow us to make sure that everyone wins, everyone's happy, everyone provides a value to us, and then we jam it together and be able to say, hey, we're partnering with everybody. That's why we have a lot of friends in the space, right? And I think people understand that what we're trying to do is not necessarily just take the data. We actually are trying to be purposeful with how we use it and how we give it back to the dealer.
Yeah.
And it's evident, man. I think that just hearing about your products, being inside stores that use your product, they're always happy about what it is. They know how communicative you guys are too, and how you guys are always trying to help them.
Yeah.
And that's big. It's big right now, but in the future it's even bigger. I think that the future is this year's going to be a big year for everyone. I think, and I think automotive dealers, if they're really engaging and they're really working on theirs inside their stores, inside their house, they're going to do really well.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest things for the future that you see that the biggest impact you're going to be making in the future as PureCars does?
I think transparency is going to be number one, right? Like transparency, because there's going to be a lot. I mean, NADA every year gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So everyone is going to try to bring a value proposition for dealerships to have them say, yes, transact with me, buy with me. And the number one key for us to, again, we've been together, we've been here for 18 years, we've been in business for 18 years, and transparency has to be the key that we continue to deliver and enhance.
I love that.
We have a lot of reporting that we would just release this week in terms of just being able to not only inform the dealer how they're doing and the return on investment that they see, but more importantly, the things that are important to them. So it's not just creating a good, shiny dashboard and saying, here you go. It's more like, hey, tell us what you want to see. Let's create it, and you're going to get it on a weekly basis. And that transparency aspect keeps the client for a long time, makes sure that they feel comfortable with what they're doing, because if you think of digital advertising, man, it's pricey. It's not just a $2,000 product. You're talking $50,000, $100,000, $20,000. It's still it's a big transaction that they do. So the transparency is huge.
I love that, because transparency works in all levels, and we've been talking about that with clients for a long time, as in customers buying cars, right? We want to be transparent. We got to be transparent. Meet them where they're at. Do all this stuff. But in a lot of the times, we don't do that as vendors, right? And that's the weirdest thing. It just works. Let us do it, right? Give me this money, we'll make you money, right? And it's good that you guys are looking forward to being more and more transparent to people. I think you guys are pretty transparent already, but I think being able to open it up for them to be able to just find it for themselves and be able to know where they're going is massive, brother. So that's a great way to go in the future, for sure.
For sure.
So if we were to ask, or somebody was to want to know just one thing about PureCars and how it can help them, if they've never been on the platform, never used it, never spoke to you guys, there's going to be these conversations still happening today. You know what I mean? Never heard about it, tell me something about it. What's the one thing that you would want to make sure that they walked away knowing that that this platform can actually do for them?
Yeah, so I would say the number one automotive media spender in the business is us. They're all three channels, right? Google, Meta, right, and Amazon. I think that's important for them to know that, because that means that people trust us. We have experience. We know kind of what we're doing, right, from a digital advertising perspective. We don't have to create a ticket or call a 1-800 number. We can call them directly and say, hey, here's what's going on, and they help us out. So that would be one thing. And the other piece is come see our CDP, right? Like, come see our CDP.
Set it up.
Take a look at what we're doing. Let us tell you the story as to why we believe starting with your first party data is going to overall change your landscape of your marketing strategy, how you're going to be more efficient, how we're spending time in your service drive, how you're doing all of those things. That would be the biggest message, is come see it, email me, call me, text our team, text you guys, or anybody that can get us over. We would love to spend a few minutes to talk and discuss that. Yeah.
Like you said, just reach out to us. We'll get you connected. We know how to get a hold of them. Trust me.
We're only a phone call, text, handshake away.
They make it easy for you all and make it transparent, right? And I love that. this is what's so great about PureCars. This is what's so great about having friends like you. You know, I love coming to his events, working with companies like this, but running into people like you.
They're amazing.
And that's what makes it great. You know, to me, I love good companies, but we technically lean towards the ones we like the people at, right? And I think that's the same way with dealers. And I think that if I like the people here, I know that you dealers are going to love the people here.
Yeah.
So please reach out to us, reach out to PureCars, get yourself a setup demo, get yourself lined up to make sure that your future is clear and bright and pure.
Absolutely. I love that. Man, that was a good sizzle there.
Good.
I love that. Dab on that one
No
for saying that, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
car guys and car gals, you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. We're here at PureCars booth. 2026 is going to be an incredible year. It's already started off with a pretty big bang. For so many of you, there's so much that's on the horizon. Make sure that you build relationships with people. Make sure that you continue drinking up some Car Guy Coffee podcast and listening to some amazing people like our friend, the one,
The only
José Gomez.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
man.
brother. Appreciate
Always
you.
good to talk to you guys.
Thank you, brother.